40 boy cross-country runners in the country. This Foot Locker Championship originally developed to bring together the elite athletes of this sport and name a national champion definitively. We've already done that on the girls' side. We are a few moments away from naming a boy national champion, and it's interesting when we go through a day like this and you start with the girls' race and you get to see all the passion and the strength and just the determination that goes part in that race. And it sort of takes a little bit out of you, and then you have to get geared up as announcers, as fans, and as these guys after watching a race to run their own national championship race.
Yeah, but it's like Christmas, though. That was a great gift we got. Hey, there's another great present just about to be unwrapped.
That's well said. That's well said. So at this point in the race, I'm always curious, as a former athlete, I mean, we talk about the nerves and stuff. Do you have to worry about the nerves, or do you just channel that energy into a fast start?
I think we channel it. You know, we've done this day in and day out where we go to hard workouts and we got to figure out how to get through that, but then get to the race and learn how to control ourselves. And here they go. This is probably the most nervous they're going to be, but at the same time, they're so excited to hear the gun.
You said, let's get to the race. Let's get to the race. We hand it over to Tim O'Rourke. Tim.
The 2013 Foot Locker National Championship. And we are out very quickly here. The boys in the blue from the northeast, the green from the south, the gold from the Midwest, and the orange from the west. And if our girls went out at 65 seconds for the first 400, then I don't think the boys are going to be any slower than that.
You know, the race course is perfect conditions almost every single year, but it's really flat, fast course in the very first, 200-300 meters. So for them to get up just this little blip and then to stride it out, it's a good way to kind of get your nerves out of there.
The boys don't tend to let people go early, so it looks like a large pack. It looks like 40 boys within 10 meters of each other. Nobody is allowing anybody to get out ahead. They're making their way down through the first 400 meters downhill.
And last year, all eyes were on Edward Cheserek. They were, everyone was wondering what he was going to do. Like Lucas, Lucas won 2 years in a row. Edward was going for his second national championship. So here, it's a whole new ball game. We're going to have a new champion regardless. So,
and that's really the case a lot of times with the guys. They tend to get stronger as they get older and go through high school. So you don't see as many returners, as many repeat champions as we do on the girls' side. It's kind of what makes this part of the race really exciting too, because we don't know necessarily what we're going to get from these guys.
No, and people that are in the lead in the very beginning might not be in there in the end, but like we saw on the women's side, sometimes you can lead start to finish, so it's just anybody's race right now.
Well, it looks like Patrick Sheehan has decided to push that pace a little bit there. You can see Aaron Templeton and Matthew Mayton. Again, as we mentioned, the regional winners all want to position themselves up front very quickly. And there you have Templeton running right next to Mayton there. Templeton there running very well in the green of the south, and Mayton there is the tall boy in the orange of the west there. And as we mentioned, it's everybody in there as we head up to the first 800 meters.
I just thought you were going to try and name them all. It's quite a chase pack.
I'll just read you the list. They're now bringing themselves up to the first 800 meters. A fair pace, 2:19. We wouldn't consider that to be barn burning, but it is a fair pace. And as they lead, Patrick Sheehan there in the green there, leading there, but right behind him there, as you can see, our whole pack now coming up. Mayton and Templeton, winners of their regions there.
Mayton told me 2 days ago that this was what he was focusing on all year. He wanted to come see the best national high school race, and he's here, and he's so fired up, and he's really focused on winning this race.
He has had a great year. It has been undefeated throughout the year. And here comes the whole pack there. Everybody in that lead group.
Wow.
That is about a 3-second gap from number 1 to number 40. So it's a good, honest pace. But everybody in there as they head across the road. Templeton and Mayton lead our group through across the road. A little bit of a downhill for about another 200 meters. Make that big U-turn and heading for the hill.
Nobody really pressing right now. You can see they're all well within themselves.
Matthew Mayton in the orange, and then just to his left, Templeton in the green. You can see on the outside there also Grant Fisher, our Midwest champion, but everybody's still in that group together.
I mean, they're running 7-8 across at this point. I mean, that is a tight-knit group.
You know, John, this is one of the great things about this course. It's a beautiful course. It's a true cross-country course. We've got hills, we've got flat, we've got dirt, we've got grass, but it's a wide open. There are no really sharp turns. There's a lot of wide open spaces, so everybody has a free chance to move. There's 7 or 8 across right there, so there's no thing to worry about being able to move up. You can always move up if you've got the ability to do so.
Templeton's in the shape of his life. He talked about his 8:54 time trial that he just did 3 weeks ago. He said last year he did it as well, and he ran much faster. To run 8:54 on the track right now, he has to be in crazy shape. So interesting to see him, you know, right up front, if he knows he's in that good of shape, but he must be feeling good. He was fixing his hair a little bit there, and he's very, very relaxed.
All our boys are. We're heading for that first big hill, just like Edward Cheserek did last year, conservatively up that first time, making sure he measured himself. They go by the mile mark here at 4:53 for the mile, so still a good, honest pace. And here we go. We start to climb. It's a very steep first 100 meters, the steepest part on any of the course here. Very steep. They'll make a right turn, and then about another 200 meters. Slight uphill, they'll make a U-turn to get all the way to the top and then start to head on the downhill.
I mean, maybe not surprisingly, it's thinned out a little after the hill, but really not much.
Everybody measuring their strides as they head up. Now, they made the steep part. They'll make this U-turn a little bit more of a rise across the top of the hill. It's the one place that you can actually see them all the way from the start line up on the hill as they cross. It's a beautiful day here in San Diego. The course couldn't be in better shape. The greens are as green as they possibly can be, and those boys just look like they are having the best time. It is a beautiful sight, and all 40 go across there. There is still only about 5 seconds separating the leader from the last runner. So to say that somebody has an advantage or that somebody's out of it just isn't true. Everybody's in it. They come on down the steep part of the hill.
So, Kerry, let me ask you, if you're in a race like this, and admittedly you said, you know, that first lap, it's really about sort of seeing how you feel and where you're at. But if you're in a race that has stayed this tight, what's going through your head? What is your strategy at this point?
I think it's great when it's this tight. You know, in cross country, you need to be able to see the spot you want to finish. That's at least how I raced. And for them to be able to see that everyone is right there, that's nice. Not to have one person way out where you're constantly thinking, what are they doing, what are they doing? It's nice just to be able to see everybody, but at the same time, you know, it's anybody's race right now, so you have to be worrying who's feeling really good right now and who isn't. So it's tough. It's a tough ball game. This running thing isn't so easy, worrying about everyone else and trying to make sure you focus on yourself. That's the really, if you can beat that and you can stay within yourself, you're going to have a good day.
And all 4 of our regional champions are in that front group right there. You see Mayton in the orange there, and just on his outside right shoulder, Grant Fisher from Grand Blanc right there in the gold of the Midwest right on his shoulder. And then if you look to the left just a little bit, Mickey Burke has moved up in there, Templeton in there. So we've got all our regional champions, but then again, we've got everybody. Here they come back by the start-finish line. And it's still anybody's race. In our team race, the West looking very strong. 2, 4, 6, 8 boys. And Kerry, you're looking like the omnipotent all-seer. There goes your guy moving up well.
There's
there.
My dark horse.
Joe Hardy.
Joe Hardy placing 10th in his region. So on paper, it looks like, you know, he was 10th. But he's got a great range, as do all of these athletes. But it's fun to see someone that has such speed on the track be able to carry that through on the cross-country course. Because going up the hills, coming down that crazy steep hill, and to be able to hold on to a fast sprint kick finish, you want to see some leg turnover there.
And that's what Hardy has done. He has moved up and taken the lead and pushed a little bit on that downhill. And right from the Pacific Northwest, there is teammate right there, Matthew Mayton there. Mayton staying out of trouble right up there in that front group also. A little bit of a downhill. They'll make that U-turn, and then we'll come back on that uphill again, heading up to the 2-mile mark. Joe Hardy decided it's time. Here we go.
Now this is interesting because with Joe's turnover and with his kick, I again am surprised to see him leading this. But when he feels good and when you're confident and strong, you go for it.
Along the dog park loop, they'll make that U-turn, starting to head back up. See Blair Herlock also there from the west in that group. Little bit of a separation here, a little bit of an uphill, and heading up to the 2-mile mark. Maiden back into the lead, Hardy on his right shoulder. Matthew Maiden, Joe Hardy pushing our pace, and a little bit of separation, a little bit of uphill heading up to the 2-mile mark.
Matthew Maiden, again, undefeated this year. He's having a great season, and like I said, very focused on this meet. He wanted to get through his state championship. He did so, and now he wanted to come here and really show what he's made of.
That is Blair Herlock there, bib number 88, the young guy with the blonde hair, pushing that pace a little bit. 9:53 at 2 miles, 9:53. We've got a mile to go, and we've got 10 boys in that lead group, and anybody still's race with a mile to go. Herlock and Maiden.
Elijah Armstrong up there, number 83.
Alexander Osberg there from the northeast. He's the runner from the northeast there, running very well also. Bib number 53.
53. I thought it was 83, Tim. But you're right, 53.
And as they come through, Blair Herlock from De La Salle pushing the pace. Maiden on his outside shoulder there. Joseph Holt Andrews there moving well. Here comes Fisher back into lead. And maybe it's time Grant Fisher decides he's going to make the move. People positioning themselves, getting ready for the big hill. Blair Herlock, the senior out of De La Salle High School in Northern California. Grant Fisher in the gold of the Midwest. Maiden right behind him. Joseph Holt Andrews in the blue of the Northeast. Alexander Osberg there also in that lead group. Blair Herlock starting to push it,
Grant
Herlock.
Fisher was being compared to the likes of Dathan Ritzenheim and the Torres. Jorge Torres at his Midwest Regional running 15:02. Very fast time on that course. He's having a great race right up there in the yellow.
5, 6 boys in that pack, but another 3 just a couple meters behind. So we've essentially got 9 boys in that lead group.
This is going to be a fast finish, guys.
This is where we're heading to the big hill. This is where Edward Chesrick last year really put the hammer down, made everybody decide, can you go with me or not? And so we're heading to the hill the second time. Herlock, Fisher, and moving up very well, John Dressel. Dressel and Maiden, the West with 3 of the top 4, but Blair Herlock continues to lead. Herlock, Fisher, Dressel, and Maiden go across the road as our top 4, and now the hill, the steepest part of the course, and looks like John Dressel has decided, just like Edward Chesrick did, this is where the race will be won. Here he goes, John
14th
Dressel.
here last year. Wants to improve as well on that finish. The West guys coming off of the Mount Sac regional course, which is very, very hilly. This hill to them doesn't seem like much compared to the Mount Sac course, but it does affect you, and it is a hard hill. So we have to see how they get up this.
Here we go. Here starts our race now. John Dressel has decided it's time. Grant Fisher there in the gold of the Midwest, just a couple steps behind. Matthew Maiden, undefeated this year, in 3rd. Blair Herlock, who was pushing that pace, still running very well in 4th. But just about to the top of the hill. That lead is only about 3 meters. Maiden just a couple more meters back. We are setting up for a great finish. John Dressel, the junior from Mount Spokane, makes the turn, and here we go on the downhill. Dressel and Fisher.
About 800
Grant
meters
Fisher
to go.
flying
Wow.
down that hill. Fisher takes the lead. Grant Fisher. Both these boys juniors, and here they go. Coming down off the hill, a little less than a half mile to go. Grant Fisher and John Dressel.
Put the hammer down quick, but Dressel is attacking it. He's not letting him go.
Grant Fisher, great on the down. A little bit of an uphill here. And Dressel using that to come on back. Here we go. Shoulder to shoulder with 400 meters to go. John Dressel, Grant Fisher. They make the turn. 300 meters to go. Fisher in the gold. Dressel in the orange. They now pass 200 meters to go. Grant Fisher, John Dressel, they pass the 3-mile mark at 14:39, and John Dressel goes into the lead. 150 meters to go. John Dressel trying to pull away.
Is he coming back?
But Grant Fisher right on his shoulder. Here comes Fisher.
Whoa.
Fisher and Dressel. Fisher and Dressel. The 2013 Foot Locker National Champion will be Grant Fisher. John Dressel will finish in second.
Amazing finish.
15:07. Outstanding time. A great race from those two boys. Here they come across the line. Looking at our top 15 for All-American status. Matthew Maiden, a great year. He'll finish in third. Burke will finish in fourth. Hardy, a great race, will finish in fifth. 10th in the regional, 5th in the nationals. A great race for Hardy. Mickey Burke will finish fourth, coming from being the Northeast Regional Champion. Let's bring all these boys in. Those of you along the course, all those boys giving it a great shot today. No one wanting to give a quarter to anyone. Staying with that lead pace all the way. Wow, what a finish. Back and forth. John Dressel, Grant Fisher gave us a great race. Both of them outstanding races. And our 2013 Foot Locker National Champion from the Midwest. His coordinator said this morning, you better watch out because Grant Fisher's the man. And today, Grant Fisher is the man.
You know what? That is the hardest thing to do is when somebody goes by you with less than 100 meters to go to get back on it and get back on there and win this race. And that's what Grant Fisher did today. But you know what? Dressel really gave it all the way to the end. He gave it his all, and we got to give it up to him as well. Great race, guys.
Both juniors, John. Both juniors.
Oh.
Boy, we're going to have some motivated boys this summer out doing some miles out there.
That really was an incredible race. I mean, the pack so close together for most of that race. And then right at the end, that hill, which always comes into play.